I'm 32 and my wife 30, recently returned from a long weekend camping trip with 2 other couples, longtime friends. We had fun, but something happened the morning we left that I can't shake. We packed up to go home. My wife and friend appeared as I loaded our car. They were a few feet distant at the campsite. I saw him grasp her hip and slide his hand down her butt as she stooped down to pick something up. Although she didn't seem unhappy, my wife quickly moved his hand away. She grinned at him almost playfully. Everything happened fast, maybe 2 seconds, but I felt like I'd been hit in the gut. I looked around, but no one saw anything. His wife packed up the car while the other pair chatted about the travel back. Quiet homeward drive. My wife attempted talking, but I couldn't concentrate. That scene kept playing in my head. I lied and said I was thinking about work when she questioned why I was quiet. In truth, I was shocked. I preferred not to mention it. She could say I was imagining things or being silly if I said it. The remainder of the day felt like autopilot. I barely slept last night and can't concentrate at work today. My mind races, doubting every detail. The vacation was wonderful other than what I witnessed. Nothing appeared out of place. I wonder if I misread the scenario. That smile on her face. It was too friendly, too casual for something that crossed the line. Love my wife to death. I've never doubted her since we met in college freshman year. My best pal. But for the first time I have a stomach knot I can't disentangle. I'm no snoop. She's always had my full trust. But I'm sitting here wondering if I should check her phone. I couldn't do it without her knowing because it's password protected. This is driving me crazy and I must act. Would I be the a-hole to check her phone? How could I if it's password protected? Update, found her iPad. It was passwordless. This is still connected to her phone after I entered. She has Telegram. They chatted there. I'm reading the messages, but she's cheating. No major breakdown yet. I'm attempting to stay calm to make the next right move, without messing up. How should I proceed? Should I address her at home? Do I confront him at home? Please assist. Update 2. Many thanks for your advice. I haven't told her. Trying to catch up on work, I locked myself in my home office. She's trustworthy. I carried the iPad. So long has she not used it, she won't notice it's absent. As a precaution, I took pictures of their texts on my phone. I believe they've been talking for 8 months. Telegram appears to be their major communication channel. Nudes, sex messages, and plans to make their relationship public after leaving me and his wife have been sent. I can't believe she'd hurt me. I saw in the chats that she sent him a gorgeous, suggestive photo of herself on her way to the gym earlier this evening and kissed me when she got home, seeking sex. I rejected since I had things to accomplish. I'm confused and can't think straight, so I'll take this suggestion. I'll do it. Many comments advised me to separate my finances from hers. We share an apartment and bank accounts. She knows about my substantial fortune from my parents' vehicle disaster 2 years ago. This fund is inaccessible to her. What should I do to protect myself if that happens? No kids. Update 3. I researched and called lawyers this morning since I work from home and didn't have any meetings. I have 2 appointments for tomorrow, but most couldn't fit me in until next week. I'll inform his wife and show her proof when I hire a lawyer and become insured. After informing her, I'll give her time to organize her affairs and hire a lawyer if she wants before I confront my wife. I don't understand my emotions. Somehow I'm not mad, maybe more numb. I get sick and nauseous thinking about the sex texts I've read. I feel like I'm doing what I need to do, but it's like living someone else's life. I don't know how long I can maintain the poker look without her noticing. I appreciate your messages and support. Update 4. Guys, your messages and counsel humbled me. Not much has changed since yesterday. Gym work keeps me active. She knows my parents' death anniversary is next month, so she inquired why I seemed off. I merely told her I was thinking about them. My lawyer consultations are mostly next week and some today afternoon. I'll update after choosing a lawyer and understanding my alternatives. Op is right to gather proof and seek a lawyer. She smiled when your friend touched her. Definitely unsettling. You're not overreacting to notice. You're right that exchange raised concerns. She didn't seem upset or angry over someone crossing a boundary. That would make any partner raise questions. Update 5. A hell of a lawyer drafted my divorce papers in days and filed them this morning. My adultery proof can't be utilized in court because I live in a no-fault state. I didn't utilize my inheritance for marital bills. Therefore, it's safe. Our parents bought our condo as a wedding gift. We each paid 50% of the down payment, therefore one of us must buy the other out or sell it. I phoned the other deceived spouse Saturday to meet for coffee. It was ironic that her husband and my wife had gone on an overnight excursion together. I learned from iPad messaging. They lied that my wife was staying at her sister's for the weekend to help with the kids while her sister's husband was on a business trip, and her husband was on a work project. My wife and her husband were on a vacation and stayed at a hotel paid for by Casanova. I showed her their Telegram communications. pics included. All of it. She said she observed him withdrawing a few months ago. She assumed it was work stress and didn't realize he was cheating. She was devastated to learn that her husband was cheating with my wife, her friend. I gave her my lawyer's number while she examines her choices after talking more. My wife came home Sunday night from her sister's. She kissed me as she entered, saying she missed me after spending the weekend with her partner. Her compartmentalization is nearly evil. I sat her down and requested a conversation. She had no idea I recorded the entire chat. The lawyer advised me to live in a one-party consent state. It went like this. I asked her to be truthful. Sure, baby. But she was anxious. I then questioned her. You love me? Yes. You pleased with me? Of course, baby. Have I been a decent husband? Do I treat you well? Yes and yes. What's happening? Kindly indulge me. Okay. Have I ever damaged you physically or emotionally? Of course not. What the F? Why are you cheating if you like me? She looked at me in disbelief for a minute before rejecting it. After a while, I told her to stop acting since I knew the truth. She broke down and confessed to kissing a man who had been hitting on her at a bar where she was out with her partner a few months before. Not sure why. The whole thing was ludicrous, so I laughed. She cheated on me every chance she got. Was that her only cheating? She insisted that it was the one time, a moment of weakness, intoxicated, and meaningless. I remained silent. I declared divorce from my lawyer's business card. I hadn't. I wanted to talk to her once to determine if our marriage was salvageable. She may phone my lawyer to reach me. She pleaded, cried, apologized. She then gaslighted me by suggesting I was throwing away everything we had over a mistake while I packed a suitcase. The worst part was that she said I had no one else. Why would I abandon my only family? That hurt, since I told her she was my sole family when my parents died and I could count on no one else. But she contradicted me. I stayed in a hotel that night until I found a new residence. Divorce papers were filed yesterday. Edit: I addressed several remarks. Once she confessed to kissing a random bar patron. I didn't inform her about the affair. She discovered it from her. Another deceived spouse confronted him and called her to insult her. I notified the other betrayed spouse, who was furious and couldn't bear it. He defiled her, so I understand. Instead of supporting her, he's been spending time with my wife while her mom is unwell and she's been traveling. I didn't, since she surprised me by saying she kissed a bar patron. It may seem minor compared to her secret life with my friend, but I think I realized how deeply she wanted to cheat on me at that point, which was shocking. I left because I was too angry to talk to her without yelling. Explaining why is difficult. After she told me, it made more sense to leave than to find out why she was sleeping with my friend. She called and left messages that night after I left the house. After the second betrayed spouse contacted and confronted her husband the next day, she tried to reach me. Her response has been silence. And him. I connected the dots because my wife stopped calling me after the other betrayed husband messaged to say she confronted him and phoned her. Edit. Many thanks for the messages and support. Moving out, taking a break, and divorcing are the greatest methods to protect yourself emotionally and legally. Now that's set in motion, you may focus on your healing without questioning her story. Op did everything correctly, notably securing your inheritance, planning financially, and being strategic. Update. Some updates since my last post. My wife received divorce papers last week. I'm still in the motel and nearing an apartment. I forgot my iPad last week when I left. A few days later, I returned to get clothes and other stuff and found it. My wife argued with her bar companion, accusing her of telling me about her kissing that hot guy. It appears her pal has stopped talking to her. After the incident, his wife pushed him out and he's staying with his sister. She and I talked. She hired a divorce lawyer. The situation has been shared with our few common pals. Each has cut off touch with them. Last week, the a-hole visited my wife twice and stayed the night. She also texted her sister, who knew about the affair. My wife sought a lawyer and complained to her sister that her counsel explained the asset distribution and her affirmed she has no claim on my inheritance, which she thought was unfair. This is the gut punch. Since my wife's lawyer visit, which I thought unusual, our apartment search and official discussions have cooled. She asked me to halt the divorce a few days ago. She loves me, thinks we're insane, and thinks everyone deserves a second chance. She even said, I can't live without you without the iPad. I might have assumed she was sorry. But given what she's been up to all week, I knew this only happened when she realized she won't get my fortune. Thought that hurt. My lawyer advised me not to answer. I'm sickened by her, my friend, and her sister the more I think about it. Her change of heart seems to arise completely from her revelation that she won't touch my inheritance, which is worrisome. I repeatedly promised her I would use the money for a trust fund if we had children. I didn't touch it since it reminded me of my parents' death. She has disrespected me and my parents, who loved her and treated her like a daughter. Glad they're not here to witness this. I saw his wife on the weekend. My friend is going through a tough time, especially with her mom's health issues in this situation, telling her about the texts. After her spouse sought to reconnect, she reconsidered the divorce. However, when I showed her my inheritance communications and noted their cooling, she changed her mind. I also found her comment striking. A few months after my parents died, her spouse said I was a lucky witch son for receiving their money. She asked him why he called me lucky after losing them, and he said he didn't mean it. She dismissed it, but now she doubts his motives. It seemed unlikely, but she seemed to think she would get her some after divorcing me and starting a new life with him. Either way, they act vilely. I strive to take care of myself. I began therapy. Gym going has become almost fanatical. I'm avoiding alcohol. I'm working hard to appear strong. Several of my friends have commented my coldness is scary. It's the only way I can survive without my day-to-day without going crazy. The nights are tough. I have trouble sleeping. I sometimes drink to cope. I'm not proud and sometimes cry to sleep. Edit. I won't post further updates until something unexpected happens or I require support from a different sub. Not until months after the divorce is finalized will I post another update. Many thanks for your advice and assistance. It's shocking how low your wife and this friend have fallen. For her to move from infidelity to pleading for a second chance after learning she wouldn't get your inheritance. It indicates how little she's respected you and your relationship. Your friend's behavior, especially his comment about inheriting your parents' money, is troubling. I wonder whether they were both seeing dollar signs the whole time. The frigid exterior is a survival technique, and it sounds like it's helping you get through each day, but you don't have to be a rock. You think? Thank you for attending our space today. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to not miss our next video. Till next time.